I love this idea of the tolerance, and because that's what we're really doing when we're not recognizing who or what we are. Then we're tolerating this, but just barely, right? I'm just, man, they expect me to accept this. I mean, I'm not looking for this. I'm looking for the special this. I'm looking for the other this. But I defy you right now to find an other this. There's just this, and there's just this. It's the only one. So it's this, another word for this would be, at least within the relative world, this is what is. And it's beyond the relative too, but it's just more distinct for us. For as long as we're pretending to be human beings, and as long as we're believing that, if I'm believing I'm a Fred, I'm going to come up with a list of problems. And I don't want to say that my life is perfect. I don't. But I can't find anything wrong with it. I can't find a mistake. Now, the body can. The body is unhappy about being disabled. But not even the body has a sense that it shouldn't be disabled. It has the sense that this isn't right, which is the same thing as saying it shouldn't be like this, really, but it's a little more subtle. And it's not true. And the same thing with you and your situation, because the more I find out about what other people are going through in life, the happier I become with mine. And I don't find a lot of people that I want to trade lives with. I don't really find anybody I want to trade lives with, because it's not even my life to trade. Uh, Life has this doesn't have life. This is alive in the sense that it's mobile, and it has different processes that go through, physical processes that it goes through, mental processes that it works through. Um, but there's no one in the center of all that. It feels like, that there's, on one level, it doesn't feel like it very much, but very distinctly, but there's still a sense of Fredness here. There's still a sense of Fredness. And if I stump my toe in the middle of the night, that's not God, and it's Fred, and Fred will swear and know that that's not right. Everything else might be okay, but I should not have stumped my toe. And not only that, but the person who left that there is just an idiot, and then I'll remember that I'm the one that left it there, and I will excuse myself. You, however, would remain in hot water for a little while. Uh, this idea that I'm right, that Robin talked about, that can't happen until there's an I'm. Right now, if you can just ignore for a moment the sense of a self, the sense of a person, the sense of a spirit or body, anything. If you just don't, if you just ignore the mind and just, in other words, the thoughtful mind, the repetitive, endlessly repetitive mind, the narrative. You just ignore the narrative for just a minute. what can we actually find here that is wrong? What I find is that everything is as it is. And whatever it is, it's beyond judgment. Mine, yours, anybody, anything. It's just beyond but judgment because it's really, we could say it's isness itself. There is isness, which is that sense of being, that sense that I am a witness to all this, which is not actually completely untrue, but I can't find the witnesser. Like right now, if you look at something in your room against the wall, look at a wall in your room, and mine, of course, is elaborate behind me, so it's easy to get attention caught in it. But if I just look at that wall, and then I drop the eye, I drop the sense of there's an eye looking at the wall, they're still looking at the wall. It's not me looking at the wall over there. There's no over there, over there. There's just here. And it's maybe a sense that you are here, but that's not really accurate. You are the very here-ness of here. This is you. If you were to take space as being your body, what could you find outside of yourself? We can't find anything outside of ourselves. And if we try to find the center of this, it's going to feel like the body is the center of it. But is that true? Is that body the center of your neighbor's life? No. It's just another body. There's not playing it down. We're just not playing it up. Because what happens is that when we look for the center, we don't have to look very long. We don't have to look at all. We can just see, oh, this is the center. And we say, I am the center. And we do like this. Even when we make these non-dual declarations that I am not the body, I swear to God, I'm not the body. And I'm just touching the body the whole time. So I'm really, and I can't really say that quite straight. I can tell you that you are not a physical being. You are living through a physical being. You are living as if you are a Fred and a Dennis and a Betsy and a Mike, Banu. You're living as if you are something else. But can you find a boundary to this? No. You can't find where this ends because it doesn't. The mind wants to say, well, it is, it's just outside of my attention. There's nothing outside of attention. And that attention is not actually the body's. It plays through the mind as if it is. But what's looking at this? I can't say it's not this because there's only one thing, but on another level, I can say it's not true because the one thing is really no thing. There's just this as it is. As it is a big phrase in Hinduism because they see that it is as it is. And just to make sure that we don't pay any attention to that phrase, we have made it a favorite non-commentary that just blows out of the mouth and means nothing. Well, it's raining. Yeah, it is as it is what it is. You know, it shouldn't be raining. I know it, but it is what it is. And what we're doing is we're blowing past the true divine truth, blowing past the divine truth of this is it. If you're waiting for a moment of clarity, I don't want to say that the unit might not experience one. The unit can experience whatever it experiences, whatever it's exposed to, the unit will experience. That's its job, because the unit is a sensory device for it. It lives through all of us. There's only one it. It lives through all of us simultaneously. And your mind will not grab that. Mine won't either. So I think my view is not right. So let me see if I can get it right. Yeah. There we go. Much better. What we like to pride ourselves in is, I know what's going on here. Notice that begins with I. And right now, just for a minute, see if you can find this I. Can you find this I in the body? If so, can you zero in on where in the body it is? I can't find it in the body because I can't find it because it is the finding device. In the absence of the sense of being, there's no finding. That is your attention, and that attention is as close to your true identity as a unit can recognize. Because there's just one of us. And it's believing that it's an individual 13 different times in this room, or 12, maybe not. It's believing, a few of us probably are believing that there's a body here. All of us are experiencing the sense of a body, that's great. I mean, perception is reality, they say. We can't ignore the body. We don't want to. I mean, it's a pretty terrific object if you know who it is, what it is. The body is a sensing device. It is the attention making, allowing mechanism of the oneness that is. But we need to recognize right away that what are we talking about when we say oneness? We're talking about some other oneness than this one. There are tons of spiritual seekers looking for oneness. I know, they talk to me. I'm looking for oneness. What is it that's looking for oneness? Well, I am. Well, what's this I? Can you tell me that? No, it's just me. And what is this me? Can you find it? Can you point it out? You can't point it out because you're it. And there's no other. That's the thing with one other, with being oneness, is that when you're oneness and you're waiting for something else, it's going to be a really long wait because there's just oneness. There can't be anything else. There can be parts of you that you are not recognizing, that you're not exploring at the moment, all of that. But to give you an example of how it works, if you're wondering what this room looks like in here, well, you know what this room looks like, but there's no need for you to know it in the Mike Lilly body. It's hard enough keeping up with Mike Lilly, much less keeping up with a Fred. There's no Fred. There's just this attention, and it's coming through every one of us, and it feels like that there's 13 of us here, when in fact, there's one thing, and only the one thing, and it's looking through every pair of eyes simultaneously. And when you recognize that and you think, well, I've been looking for oneness, where have you been looking for oneness? Somewhere else. Is there such a thing as somewhere else for oneness? Is there? And are you waiting for anything other than this? If you are, you're very deeply asleep. There's no shame in it. I was very deeply asleep for over 50 years. In varying degrees of my coma, but in 1992, I got a glimpse of myself. I thought it was a glimpse of other. There was a very distinct knowing that it was awakening, but there was also just a right behind that, almost like right in it, there was a sense that it was Fred's awakening, and that Fred just woke up. Isn't that remarkable? And what was seen was that there is no hierarchy. There's no boom, 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 boom. You and me, and I'm on the top and you're on the bottom, or you're on the top and I'm on the bottom. There's no top and no bottom. Because see, there's just this. There is no top to this. There's no bottom to this. Check. Don't listen to me. Just check. See if you can find the bottom to this. See if you can find the outside wall. See if you can find the resistance of a wall or anything out there. Can you find the end? You can find the end of the room. I can see that there's a wall and I can't see through it in that direction. I can see through it in this direction because there's a window. And what I can see is with this window is that just using the unit, I can see the sky and I don't see where it ends. And it may be because it doesn't. It's endless sky, or it's endless space, of which the sky is a very small part. But when there is no boundary, there's no center. No center at all. Just notice that you're noticing, and that you're not noticing that there is a center. If you're really with us, you're noticing that there's not one. There's not a center here. How can there be a center? A center is what is equidistant from the boundaries. And there aren't any boundaries. No boundaries, no center. No center, no boundaries. So what we have is just a big glop of this. Without center, without beginning, without top, without bottom, without age. There's life occurs within this. Death occurs within this to these units, but not to you ever. The reason you can't die is because you're the unborn. That which is hearing this voice is eternal. And the voice that says, oh no, that's not so, is ego. It feels like that's the real you, but it's not. There is no real you to be found. There's only this real you to be noticed. And what can notice you? You. Can you notice anything else? No, because there is nothing else. The mind is trying mightily to grab this so that I can finally understand it. Trying to understand this is your problem if you're not brightly awake at this moment. And I don't really want to call it a problem. It's just the way you are. But if there is obviously a very strong urge to come to know true nature. And what wants to come to know true nature is true nature. It can't want to be anything else because there's not anything else. This is true nature. You have been looking right through yourself, for yourself, since the very moment you became a spiritual seeker. An infant is not a spiritual seeker. An infant is not looking for other. It knows nothing of it, and this is like newborns, and for the first year and a half, maybe, and then gradually up to 3, 4, 5 years. There is at birth there is no sense of center in a newborn or a baby in swaddling. There is there's no me and there's no other. Because if you'll notice, there can't be an other unless there is first a me. And there can't be a me in the absence of an other. But there is this, and this has no opposite. This is beyond. This is beyond this. Relativity. This is relativity. That's what it's always represented, is relativity. Where the positive and, I don't mean this in a judgmental way, I just mean it in a sort of scientific way, where the positive and the things and the positives and negatives of the universe interact, if you will. And I can't understand that, but I don't understand magnetism. It just amazes me that I can take a magnet and put it down and pick up, something that with iron. I don't know how that happens. Do I really need to understand magnetism in order to use it? No, we think we do. But if you go to try to understand magnetism, you can ask yourself the question, why am I doing this? If you're not a scientist and you're not really after uh, bigger game than that, why do you need to understand it? You can know that it is. And in magnetism's case, you can use it or not use it. But I can't look at something and demagnetize it. I can't make it not magnetic. I can't make it magnetic if it's not. That's all beyond the body. The body lives in a world of opposites: good, bad, up, down, left, right, man, woman, center, boundary. That's the world of relativity. But if you will look at the word relativity, what it's really saying is that this exists. How do I know? Because I'm comparing it to this. This is black. It means that I am naming this part of this circle, and I'm naming it black. And I'm noticing that black turns to white and white turns to black in a continuous cycle, never ending. And therefore, in this particular model of the yin yang, the eye, the center of the black, is the seed of the other, is the seed of light. This is black relative to white. This is white relative to black. In the absence of black or white, in the absence of my coming up with a set of opposites, like we find things here that are good, and we find things that are bad, and we find things that are very good, and we label other things very bad. What does it mean? It means it's very bad for me, the relative human. There's nothing here wrong for awakeness. There's just this. It is impossible for there to be an actual something wrong here. There's just this as it is. This as it is. When you say as it is, you're saying God. In the most nebulous fashion. You say as it is, you're talking about spirit or divinity or awakeness or awareness, whatever names you might have for it. Some people call it, personal names and stuff, and that's fine. There's nothing there to reject your labels. But as you start to label, you start to notice differences. See, I know that that's a tree, a picture of a tree, a flat picture of a tree. Well, it's not really flat, it's raised, but carved, but it's more or less flat. But it's certainly not gold. So there is this, and we think that there is this, and those are our opposites. We only know about this because we are experiencing this. In the absence of this, we just have gold. In the absence of the gold, we just have the tree. And they seem like they're opposites, but they're two sides of the same coin, and there is no coin in the middle. It's just kind of coinness, we could say. The we're waiting to get past relativity. what are we finding beyond experiencing? You're not finding anything. Beyond experiencing, what we're talking about is the absence of the sense of being. The sense of being is what experiences. It's what's talking, it's what's listening, it's this thing, it's that thing, it's everything. At the same time, it's no thing. It's both sides of the coin, and there's no coin in the middle. It's appearances. This whole relativity that we're so caught up in, this is, it's really dreaming, but it's not Fred's dream. Fred was the dream. I was always divine, but I didn't know that. I always thought I was this. Instead of being all of these, I thought I was just this one. For a baby, there's not that experience. For a baby, there's not, I am this or something else. There's just wonder without commentary. If you look right now around you, drop your rules, your judgments, drop all comparisons, because there's no comparison to this. Can you actually what is finding this? Well, it's not, it's noticing this. You are the noticing. You are that which notices. And what do you notice? Everything that is. If you don't notice it, it is not. Prior to the birth of a child, which is simultaneously, what is it, the birth of a child? It's at least the apparent birth of consciousness. Because what do you remember prior to the egg and the seed that brought all this business about? Well, there was that time when no, there's nothing prior to that except you. You are what's prior to egg or seed. We could say one of these is egg and one of these is seed, and thus relativity is born again and again and again. There's no objective relativity out there. We have enough in common that we tell a common story about this. We have a narrative that we can sort of agree on, but we don't agree on everything. This unit sees things a little differently than your unit because this unit is seeing from this unit. And it thinks it is this unit. That's the whole thing. You are divinity believing you're a human being. And that restriction is painful. Because with that restriction in place, you'll notice there's something wrong here. I don't know what it is exactly, but I can notice that there is something wrong here. Because you know why? Because I know there's something else. Can I find something else? No. All I can find is this. But I tell myself there's a something else. And oftentimes I tell myself that it's right over there. It must be right over there because it's not right here. I'm comparing this. What am I comparing oneness to? Or noneness, even. I often say that oneness is noneness in drag. And that's the truth. It is. It's noneness all dressed up. Because oneness and noneness, that's not two. It's the two aspects of the very same thing, two sides of the same coin, no coin in the middle.